Welcome to everybody. Hope everybody has had a magnificent day and ready for another crazy, controversial, unbelievable topic on Dee Talk Live Thursdays. Thank you to all your comments, everyone's support and love, as I always say every week. And thank you for joining me tonight. Tonight's a special Dee Talk Live because it's what we're actually on at the moment. We're on social media. Social media is a tool, it's a platform. It can be an app, it can be anything you want it to be. It can be a delivery service. It can be a dating tool. It can be something that we consistently use, as a change in a dynamic and a society. And today's question needs to be addressed because it is quite important and it can be quite damaging or it can be quite positive. So we go through the pros, we go through the cons, as we do every week with the positives, the negatives, the everythings, and that was the question. It was more about how has social media changed our society? Has it changed it for the better? Has it changed it for the worse? What has it changed it for? So many people use this tool and so many people think that it's such an amazing tool. But then we have the negatives as well for this tool, especially if you're growing up in this day and age. So if you're a millennial, if you're a generation next, if you're a young human being who hasn't been on this planet for that much, for a long time, let's just say a limited amount of time, because it's all part of limited knowledge. And they're not able to, what's the word for it? They're not able to understand what's going on 110%. That comes with street smarts. That comes with the way that they have been brought up, So I understand, social media, it's a place where people are able to connect, obviously. That's how I'm connecting with you guys. So there is a positive for it. So, and the first platform, obviously, as we know, is Facebook. That's when it first started, and that started in 2004. So Facebook was the main platform that everybody was on at that stage. I don't think I joined till 2008, if I'm correct, but it was the major platform where, to start off with, it wasn't that huge, it wasn't that known. Obviously, it made a catapult effect towards, the world, and everybody knows what Facebook is now. The young millennials and younger generation call it Facey, and stuff. So, it is a type of place to bring people together. It's a platform where, you're able to know where you are or where everybody else is. They've even got Messenger now, so it's a messenger tool as well. So it's been advanced to the point where you're able to do a lot more on this platform when initially it first started, But then you have, the displacement. So this is a negative. You have displacement towards people not communicating with each other. The connection, it gets taken away only because everybody's so fixated on their phone or so fixated in what's actually happening. So online, let's just say, that's all they're worried about. They're not worried about their surroundings and who's around them and who they need to speak to or who they really should take notice of, because that has a lot to do with the communication and gaining a relationship with somebody that you normally wouldn't, because you've never met this person before or they've never met you before in a relationship aspect, or it could be for business as well. You might even miss your opportunity because you're so involved in your phone or your iPad or your computer or whatever it is, because of what's going on around you. You miss such crucial details or crucial parts of your children's lives as well, because you've pretty much said you know what, take the iPad, go and play over there. Like, spend some time, communicate with them, especially with the younger generation. They're not like our generation where they were able to, have that sort of closeness and communication with the parents, where they're all able to sit back and relax and talk to each other like human beings should, really, like civilized sort of things. So, and now it's also a tool. This tool, let's just say this social media tool, is a tool where your privacy is taken away, because everybody knows where you are and what you're doing and who you are, because all your details are taken. So the privacy is taken. That's where the dangers lie and the damages actually happen to specific individuals, because there is so much more that people know about you. Whereas before, when we were growing up, none of that was even evident. We didn't have what these kids have today, and they're put in a more dangerous environment. And not only that, they've got more pressures than we do, because they've got to be a specific way. So, the dangers we face as a community, that it's detrimental towards the younger generation, as they're expected to look or act a specific way as well, because it's put on social media. And it's like, you've got to have this, or you've got to look like this, or this is how it's got to be, because otherwise you're not in the in-group, like they're types of pressures that then lead to mental illnesses to these children. You've got to look a specific way. Eating disorders, anorexia. You've got to, cosmetic surgery. That's another reason why, it happens most of the time, because they're these people that go on social media are made to look in a specific way, where these kids are supposed to be that way. No, they're not supposed to be. And you're not supposed to be like that anyway. You're supposed to be yourself. Why do you have to do what other people do? Be yourself and stand in your own identity and in your own individuality as well. You don't have to follow it. And then, what if, for example, everybody's buying something, right? And it's the big hot item. What if financially the kid can't, or the kid's parents can't? So many other families, I understand, are so financially stable, or because of the families, because of the mum or the dad, but there's other kids that don't have what everybody else had. My parents came to Australia as working class. We couldn't have everything that we wanted, and it took time, and it was on special occasions that we would get what we wanted. Not to say that my parents haven't given me the world, because that they have, but I started working at the age of 14. I don't know what many other, young individuals at this stage are doing, or if they've started working, earlier, but they should. It's a great experience, and it makes you that much stronger as an individual as well, and it gives the parents that freedom. It takes the pressure off the parents, and it gives the child a mindset where they're able to go and be independently out there doing their thing, and being able to not expect everything, because that's what this generation is becoming. That it's all about entitlement. It's an entitlement. No, it's not an entitlement. You're not entitled. Like everybody else had to do it the same way. Why do you think that you've got to do it any easier in that sense? I'm not saying that the parents shouldn't provide, and I'm not saying, if it's what the parents want to do, they should. I'm trying to enlist some values and trying to enlist some knowledge. And I'm sure not all young generations or young people are like this, but there is a large percentage that is. This is the type of thing. This is the type of education and knowledge that the parents should be enlisting in their children, and making them learn how to fend for themselves eventually. Because when they go out to that big wide world, out into that big wide world, they're not going to have mummy and daddy, and things happen in life. So you don't know how long, you're going to have this or you're going to have that. As they say, put money away for a rainy day. Anything can happen, and we know that firsthand. So mental illnesses, psychological, different types of thinking. These things are all put in a specific position, right? In terms of, a younger person. I have heard stories, and I know that this does happen when we're online. You have people called trolls. Trolls are going to prey on your children, especially if they are insecure, especially if they are fragile, and especially if they are quite timid, if they have self-confidence issues, if they have low self-esteem, if they do not believe that they are enough or they are not loved enough. This is why so many things happen in our society. This is why suicide cases have boomed even since the actual COVID, right? This was happening way before. And that's why I stress on the fact that these are the types of issues we should really be educating people about and being there for people for. Because this is what's really happening right now. And it is massive. And social media is one of the perpetrators. Regardless if it's a great business tool, regardless if it is a great advertising tool or a promotional awareness tool. I'm saying that it's great for that. But then you have obviously your downside, your negatives, right? Use it for the right things. Use it to pretty much put that point across in order for it to be of substance and in order for it to get the point across to these kids in a positive way. Not to a way or not through a way where you're telling them they have to be a specific way, and if they're not accepted. That means that they're not loved or they're not part of, your, specific cliche that you're putting on them or you're pinpointing on them, With social media, there are going to be a lot of outlets that are going to try and push that point across. I understand it's a selling point and it's a marketing tool and it's a promotional awareness sort of thing. But in saying that though, this needs to be done in a way where it needs to be put towards these children in order to educate them, not downscale them because of who they are and what they stand for in our society. That's the reason why so many children, so many young children, women, men, older to, in their late 20s, 30s, even later on in life, have got so many issues because they believe that they should be in a specific way or they should think in a specific way and what other people think is important. No, it's not important. I'm sorry, it's not. If you're happy standing where you are and you're comfortable, in your body and you're happy the way that you are, what makes you think that you need to be a specific way? Because people are telling you, or social media is telling you, this is what you have to do, be on your phone 24/7. Look around you, wake up and smell the coffee, as they say here in Melbourne, do what is right, and get involved. Get communicating, talk to people like normal people would, when you're out for dinner, take a break from it. It doesn't own you and it doesn't, it doesn't help you, because it pretty much overtakes everything that we believe in, the closeness is taken away, the, connection is taken away. The fact that, you have all these people on social media that you don't even know who they are. Your child could be on a platform and there could even be a pedophile on there for all I know. Or a manipulator or a troll telling them that how could you go for a modeling contract looking like that? I've heard a story and this is the reason why I'm saying it. And the poor girl got, problems, psychological problems through the fact that she was being trolled, right? Always be on it with your children. Always try and, educate. Even when they ask you for your opinion, don't ignore them and say, I don't have time. Always get involved with what they're doing, know what they're about, know where they are, and try and be there for them, 110%, because we don't know what's happening. And the whole privacy thing, they've taken all our details. They've taken everything. They know where you live. They know who you are. They know who your friends are. They know what you like. They know what you dislike. Things like that shouldn't be allowed. I don't agree with that. I'm sorry, but I don't. And I don't know how many of you do, but I don't. Things like that need to be put a lid on it. That's it. So it's our privacy. So it's what we more or less, want to keep, not to be taken and given to the whole world, because it's not theirs. It's yours. You own it. It's yours. It shouldn't be given to people that shouldn't have the right to, do what they want with it, or use it, as an investigative tool. I understand things happen and people need specific details, but not to the point where they know your every single move. And that's why sometimes I don't agree with being tagged in posts of where I am and what I'm doing, because you don't know who might even be stalking you or trying to find out where you are and what you're doing, Those types of things are confidential, according to Dee, all right? Confidential. And they should be your confidentiality. They should be your privacy. And no one should be able to know or take that away from you. I get that it's type of a meeting tool, or originally those were the ideas. But in these days now, there's a lot more going on. And that's why, we've got to be a lot more on it, especially with these kids and especially with, what's going on, using it as a preventative tool, seeing what's around us and how it's affecting us, because it was never like this before, even so people think it's a freedom thing. It's not necessarily a freedom thing at all, because now they know. Before it was about freedom, because you felt a lot freer. You were, you didn't have a phone where it told everybody where you were or you were consistently on it. It was like a computer traveling with you, and it's like that now, and that's where it really, really needs to be, used for the right things. Like this, for example, we're a business. We need tools like this to thrive. I'm all for it, because we're using it as a positive approach, as a business. And I'm sure many of these places try and use it to promote their products. But most of the way it's being portrayed and most of the way people are being seen is not always the right way. You don't have to be like this, and you don't have to or have this, or, these are pretty much promotional tactics. I get it. I get that it's a business. I get that they're trying to do their job. And I understand it's hard. It's hard having a business, and it's hard making it sustainable. But try and utilize it for the good, and try and utilize it where things are going to actually, help people rather than detrimental towards their lives, and make them believe that they have to be a specific way. And if they can't, what else are they supposed to do? That's why I'm saying be there for them, Hey, Natasha. So that's why I thought, has it changed our society? Of course it has. I agree that it has, and it has for the better, but then it also has for the worse, like use social media, but use it, to a minimum where that it will be used for something, great and good and helpful towards people, and not like a tool where, you gang up on somebody, or people create a group and include somebody, but in reality they want to, tease them or harass them on there and attack them, or know where they are and go to that place and then bash them, which is what I've heard. There have been many stories. That's what I mean. So it's always something that needs to be needs to be like known. It needs, awareness. Awareness is what we need for this type of topic. It needs the awareness. It needs the drive towards people helping other people, and that's social media. It's changed, of course, the dynamic. It's changed our society, and for the good and for the bad. Especially reconnecting with people. Exactly, it's a positive tool. It is for connecting people, especially in connecting with people. That's the positive side of it, because not many, like a lot of people have even found, many people that they hadn't seen for years, but for some reason they were able to find them again, and being able to, reconnect again. So that's what, social media is about, and my main dilemma is helping these young individuals and the generation. And that's why tonight's topic was so dear to me. And so it just needed to be exposed in that sense, so people know what's going on, Thank you to everybody for joining me tonight. You guys are amazing. We have got another great topic next week, so please join me on Mondays for Dee Love Talk. It's going to be great. The way I just said that was great too. And thank you again for everybody who joins us every week, who sends us beautiful messages, gets involved, interacts, because that's what we're all about, and we want you to do the same thing. Get involved, interact, help people, be there for people, and and then we'll see you guys on Monday for Dee Love Talk. And also, which I think I mentioned last week, will be on the streets soon. So it'll be Dee on the streets, but we're doing live, so Dee live on the streets. So please get involved. If you see us, we'll come up to you anyway and grab you and get you to talk to us. But thank you again to everybody for joining me tonight on Dee Talk Live. You guys have a sensational evening, and whoa, my throat. And I will see you guys on Monday for Dee Love Talk. Thank you again for joining me.